Hi friends, welcome to my technical series on surface coatings. So in this session, I'll be explaining about the coating performance and how to select a particular coating. There is a great word in Tamil regarding the purification of food. உணவின் தரம் என்பது மூன்று வகைப்பட்டது. பாக சுத்தி, பதார்த்த சுத்தி, பாத்திர சுத்தி. That is, if you expect a good quality food, first of all, the process of food should be of high standards, high quality. It should be very pure. And it also depends on the performance of the cook. Then it depends on the purification or the quality of materials we use in the food preparation. Then it also depends on the quality of the container in which the food is stuffed. Similarly, the quality of coating is also dependent on the formulation of that particular type of coating, then the raw materials used in that paint or finish or coating chemical, and how it is packed. That is also important. The container is very important. It takes a very significant role in paint industries. Then how it is stored and processing, then how it is applied at the customer's end, and with all that, the customer should have the complete awareness about the usage of the paints. Let me explain about the metal finishing here. Here, it depends on the quality of component. It depends on the design of the component. Then metal pretreatment, what kind of pretreatment we are going to give before coating, and what is the nature of the first coat followed by the top coat. So let me explain one by one. Here, as far as the sheet metal is concerned, we got two types of metal, ferrous and non-ferrous, iron based and other metals like aluminium, galvanized iron, copper, brass, bronze. In fact, we can put this under ferrous also, GI, galvanized, because there will be a zinc coat over the iron sheet. Then we have under ferrous cast iron, mild steel, stainless steel, and we have got different types of stainless steel like 224, 316, etc. Then in fact, we need to justify first of all what type of coating will withstand over which type of metal. So this is very, very important. Then, as far as the design part is concerned, that is, it should not have sharp edge, because according to the physics of action of points, there will be more charge accumulated on sharp edges, so that the material will have greater tendency for rusting or oxidation or preferential electrochemical corrosion. And that is why most of the designs are nowadays of curved nature, curved surface, so that we will have lower extent of corrosion. Instead of designing a Jeep like this, you can think of having a shape like this, a curved one. Why? Because in this sharp edge, in fact, the coating thickness will also vary. Let me say in sharp edge, we have given the coating like this, and here we have given the same coating, but the problem is you will not achieve the coating here, the required coating here. So there is a chance of penetration of any detrimental elements through this lower DFT, that is dry film thickness. And that is why if you coat like this, it will be uniform, so the coating thickness will also be uniform. That is why people nowadays prefer curved surface. And it should be free from silent corners. So the design engineer should take care of these aspects. Then try to reduce the welded area. We cannot simply avoid the welding, but that is try to minimize that. And you should have a specialty coating for the welded portions, because that will trigger the electrochemical corrosion at that particular point. You could have seen such type of rust preferentially taking place on the welded portions. Then, as I already mentioned, if it has two different components, then you have to make it sure that they should have the same property or similar property. Suppose if it is a stopping enamel, it's of a different specific resistance means probably the extent of curing will be different as far as thermosetting acrylic paints or any stopping epoxy or stopping enamel paints are concerned, because the absorption of heat will be different based on the specific heat capacity of that particular material. Then here as far as the pre-treatment is concerned, because you may be having very top quality paint, but unfortunately if it's not prepared properly, then it is of waste. So you have to give a better metal pre-treatment. Either you can go for zinc phosphating, or you can go for nano ceramic coating, and sometimes some people prefer self-etch priming, as in the case of non-ferrous metal. In fact, we give consultancy services for all these kinds of metal treatment, pre-treatment. And then the top coat. As far as top coat is concerned, some people prefer liquid paint, and most of them nowadays prefer powder coated system. Under liquid paint, you have stopping enamel, stopping epoxy, thermosetting, acrylic. All these three are heat cured, that is, it can be cured only at higher temperatures. And we have got some low bake enamels also. Nowadays, some accelerated curing along with hardener packed items like polyurethanes also available. And we have two pack system like epoxyamine and epoxyamide. And over that, some people give glaze coat, that is top coat, top clear coat. It's called a glaze coat. So that, and here the mark proofness, that is, it should be scratch proof. So in order to have a better aesthetic value, this kind of paints, or the clear coats are given nowadays. And then as I have already explained, in powder coat we have got different systems like urethane, epoxy, and epoxyamide, polyester, etc. Then the purpose of coating. Here we should understand for what purpose you are going to give the metal finishing for your component. For example, whether you are very specific about anti-corrosion or weatherproofness or waterproofness or chemical resistance or heat resistance, and with all that you had to specify whether it is food grade or commercial grade. So these are all very, very important. And as far as salt spray is concerned, that is anti-corrosion nature is concerned, that is you have to fix the number of salt spray resistance hours in terms of 240 hours, whether you require like this. You have to discuss with your customer actually. So whether it is of 240 hours or 400 hours or 600 hours or 1000 hours, etc. Okay, so based on the salt spray resistance, we have different types of chemical constitutions of coatings. Then you have to maintain these standards like Bureau of Indian Standards. This is our Indian standard, and some people, based on the customer, they have to adhere to this British standard, and some companies they insist for ASTM, that is American Standard Testing Methods, and if it is a Japanese company they will insist for Japanese Industrial Standards, JIS. Then there are some DIN specifications for German based companies, and we have sometimes international standard organization, they may insist for ISO standards. Similarly, we have to be very careful when we select our suppliers. You have to check whether they have complete technical know-how for the proposed project, and with whom they have collaborated, and what are the standards they are maintaining, what are their internal standards, and what are the internal standards you can develop along with with your suppliers. Then consistency of their supply, then technical competency, and what way that is that they can cooperate with us. All these things should be taken care of when you select any supplier. And then internal standards. As far as internal standards are concerned, that is, your raw materials are very, very important in determining the quality of your end product. So you should have stringent raw material specifications, and you should have developed internal standards, and for process also you should maintain standard operating procedure. Then you should have a firm quality policy, and better you can have some training for quality circle activities, so that it will improve the team performance and good working culture. Then you should adopt the statistical quality control. Then there should be regular training, and then you should treat the next stage operator as your internal customer. So these are the internal customers. So within the processing cycle, you must support. Then, as I already mentioned, with all this you can achieve the end quality, the end product quality. And with all that, even after the sales, that is, you should try to get the customer feedback. And after getting the customer feedback, if there is any complaint, we have to maintain the complaint investigation report. And then you should have a total dedicated after sales technical service team. Then you should have a regular consultancy, so that he'll be acting as your internal guru. In fact, I am very interested to collaborate with your organization as your mentor, as your guru, as a consultant. If you have got any requirement, you can contact me. Thank you very much.